I have often thought myself as being too quiet, too calm, and it was a personality I thought that wasn't acceptable to the society, because I feel like most people love people who are like very lively and people who are free around people and all of that. So it actually like made me to want to be them. I desire to be what I wasn't. I hated what God gave me, like my traits, and I desire to be what I wasn't. So an identity crisis is when you constantly or persistently question who you are. It can be a time of challenging thoughts where you are uncertain about who you are and where you want to be in life, especially pertaining personality. So in this video, I'll be sharing my struggles on how I overcame that self-destructive lifestyle, and I hope you learn from it and it encourages you to, yeah. I had struggled with accepting the nature and personality that God gave me. I have often thought myself as being too quiet, too calm, and it was a personality I thought that wasn't acceptable to the society, because I feel like most people love people who are like very lively and people who are free around people and all of that. So it actually like made me to want to be them. I desire to be what I wasn't. I hated what God gave me, like my traits, and I desired to be what I wasn't. At that time, I really admired the free-spirited, easygoing people and all of that. So I had just hated myself for being too quiet and wanting to be alone all the time and every other thing. So I would always question. Sometimes I'll just ask myself, well, I just like being alone, and I don't know if there is something wrong with me, or maybe I'm not supposed to be in this world. I don't understand. So because people will just be like, oh my God, you're too quiet. Oh my God, you like staying indoors and all of those stuff. So it's actually added to my struggle. So it's added in the sense that I started to question if this personality was actually right, or is something wrong with me, or is something like, am I actually doing the right thing? So it made me to want to change to who I wasn't, and I actually wasn't happy at that time, and I felt so bad at that time too. I would always curse myself and say, oh my God, I don't know why you made me to be so quiet. I don't know why you made me to be so calm. I don't know if there is anything wrong with me. So at that point in time, I was just trying to be what I wasn't. I remember I was in my 200 level in the university. I was in my 200 level in the university where I just decided that I would just put up another being, another person, another personality, where I would just walk up to somebody and I would just be like, oh my God, will you be my friend? Or just start talking to somebody. I wasn't the type that would walk up to somebody and start a conversation because I felt too shy. And I said, okay, I'll try this thing. I'll try it. So I actually did meet a few friends in school, but I thought it would make me happy. So so yeah, I did meet friends, and I still wasn't happy with myself because I had looked at the people who were very free-spirited and lively, and I thought, oh, they had friends, so that's why they are happy and blah blah shit. What a stupid mentality. So I did meet a few friends, but I thought it would erase the feelings, but it didn't. So I was still withdrawn. I was confused. I didn't know what to do. I battled with so many things, and it kept going on and on. I was in a series of challenging thoughts of who I should be, if I should accept this trait that God has given me, or I should like change myself completely. So it was a battle, and yeah. So fast forward to my 300 level in the university, I was isolated, and that was the period I started to grow a meaningful relationship with God. God started to expose me to His word. I started to pray more often, and at that time I was using a Bible app in my phone, and I would follow the devotion morning and night. And it also had like some context in it where you would like they will pop up Bible verses on God's purpose for you, God's promises for you, how to be happier, how to be more peaceful and relaxed, how to be calm. So it really like encouraged me because I was really distressed at that point. I would read these verses and I would take them in and I would memorize them. And yeah, that was it. It just kept going on and on. So at that period, I had a very stable relationship with God. You know, He was teaching me His word. I started to be more close to God, and yeah, that was it. So at that period, I had a particular song on my playlist that I would always play on repeat all the time. It was Who You Say I Am by Hillsong Worship. And oh my God, when I listen to this song, I would always be very broken. You know, like lyrics, the words, everything was perfect, and it actually broke me each time I listened to the song. So I started to feel regrets on how I saw myself, because all this while I thought I was being cheated on, and I thought that nature cheated me. So it was at that point that I started to understand God's love towards me, and each time I listen to the song, I become so broken. I didn't understand God's love towards me, and I was thinking that I was being cheated on. When I started to understand the depth of God's love, that was when I started to love myself better. It was like when God exposes me to His love and helps me understand it, I just couldn't help but love myself. And it was just what it is. So I wasn't like loving myself because I just had to. I was loving myself because I couldn't afford to hate myself anymore. If I say I hate myself now, it automatically means I hate God, and I am not appreciative of His creature. So I just have to love myself. Yeah. So when I drew close to God, it was through His wisdom that I started to understand that it is possible for a person to be balanced. Because many a times we limit ourselves to our nature. We are like, I am too shy to speak in public, or I can't stay indoors because I'll get bored easily. Especially if there is a need for us to exhibit these traits, we tend to limit ourselves to our nature and say, oh, I can't do this because of my personality, I can't do that because of my personality. It's just like when Jesus was sending His disciples to preach, He told them that He sent them as sheep among wolves, so they should be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. So I started to understand that we need to exhibit these traits when they need be. When we need to be quiet, we can be quiet. When we need to be assertive, we can be assertive. When we need to be bold, we can be bold. When we need to talk, we can talk. It's not like when someone starts to march on your feet, you're like, I cannot talk because that's my personality. Or when someone starts to say bad things to you, you shun and warn the person because it's something unruly, and you like be bold and say it and do that. It's not limiting yourself to your personality and saying I can't do this and I can't do that. So if you have made it to this point in this video, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe so that this video can get to other people. When we draw close to God, He helps us to accept ourselves fully. He helps us to know ourselves better. He helps us to have a strong identity. We don't have to like ruin ourselves seeking for external validation or acceptance, because all these things surface because of we don't know ourselves, and we haven't really accepted our identity, or because we don't have a strong identity. So we seek to, get acceptance from people. We see ourselves finding it difficult to say no. We see ourselves doing things to please other people, and we end up displeasing ourselves. Don't get me wrong, because I know that there is a place where we should put others first and sacrifice on their behalf. But when it is done from a place of so that the other person or the other party can like accept us or like start to like us, is a very wrong motive and a wrong mentality. It should be done in the sense that it should be done out of genuine love and compassion and care for the other person, not because of you want the other person to like you or to accept you. So that is it. So when we have developed a strong identity of who we really are, we don't really have to care. We don't really have to, So, in summary, I encourage us to develop a personal relationship with God, because that was how I overcame this, feelings. He is our God, he's our Father, he's our Creator. I don't really care, and he doesn't really care too. God doesn't really care about how much wrong you have done. And sometimes we feel that we are too dirty to come to the presence of God. But one thing I assure is that God is always present. He's always present. He's just waiting for you to come to the realization of what you are doing and accept him. But we feel like when we we cannot come to God because he's angry, or we feel like we cannot come to God because he wouldn't accept us. But I assure us that God is always present. The only thing we need to do is to, surrender all to him, because he's always ready to accept us, any way we are. He's the one that created us, so he's ready to accept us any way we are. The scripture says, let us come boldly to the throne of grace so that we would obtain mercy in time of need. And there is another scripture that says we should come to God in the multitude of his mercy. So we are coming to God pleading for his mercy, because we cannot really have this whole confidence or these whole attributes without the help of God. We should all come to the throne of his mercy and ask him for the mercy to help us, to live out, to hold this identity, to accept ourselves as he has made us to be, because nobody is actually like us. Nobody can be me, nobody can be you. And and when we start to have this mentality and this realization, we would cherish ourselves better, we would love ourselves better, and we would appreciate the one who made us. And that is it. So yeah, we have come to the end of this video, and I hope it was really helpful, and I hope the story was encouraging and it impacts in your life and it encourages you. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel and like this video. Thank you. Bye.